Disease is the #1 killer in women, and this is something that we can fight.
Visit GoRedForWomen.org to learn a woman's risk for heart disease.
Psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is AchieveRadio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AchieveRadio.
Hi, is anybody there? This is Carolyn, waiting for Ginny. The music is gone. Bill, can you tell us if we're on the air?
Hello? Hello?
Yes?
Did you hear me? You didn't hear me?
Now I hear you. Now I hear you.
Okay, so let me say welcome, everybody. This is Monday night, and we're on AchieveRadio.com live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here for the next 2 hours on our radio broadcast and also on AchieveRadioTV.com. We'll learn a little bit more about that, and in the meantime, just reminding everybody that for the next 2 hours, you'll be hearing from Dr. Carolyn Dean, the world's leading expert, or one of the world's leading experts on magnesium, as well as the completement formulas, her very own design that she's put together over the last couple of years with tremendous success. Before I bring Dr. Dean on the line, I will just add, not only is Dr. Dean a medical doctor, but she is also a naturopath, herbalist, acupuncturist, nutritionist, lecturer, consultant, and author of over, I don't know, hundreds of books, Kindles, magazine articles, revised versions of her work as she continues to improve and get more access to the technologies that she's using and recommending for herself and for her family, including her husband, and also for her friends like me, and then also people who want to just do what she thinks is a good idea to do, like maybe you. So welcome tonight, Dr. Carolyn Dean.
Thank you, Ginny. Good to be here. I don't know that I have any remarks to begin with, so whatever you'd like to do, let's dive in. Actually, I'm looking for Achieve Radio TV. Do I go to AchieveRadioTV.com?
Yes, you can go to you can go to AchieveRadio.com, and you'll see if you go to your regular show host page, Carolyn, which is AchieveRadio.com/Carolyn-Dean-Live, you will see the YouTube video that's being broadcast, and Bill put together a collage of images for us, I believe. I don't want to watch it because I don't want to get distracted. And then also, there also is across the top Achieve TV. And so there we are broadcasting away as well on Achieve TV, I believe. Also, it's live on YouTube.
Yes, I can see it. Images, we'll have to, I don't know if we have the 2014, and I do hear feedback. it's very annoying.
You're hearing feedback from me or just in general?
My voice was in the background, and I think you've said
it's
before.
Like you. It's like last week, Ginny. It's your system, probably.
If you have two phones on, as one is a backup, the other one should be muted because it's.
Yeah, I don't have two phones on.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, I don't have two phones on, but let me hang up. Let me use a different phone. I don't have two phones on, though. Okay, so, Carolyn, talk a little bit about your article on hypothyroidism that you wrote this week while I make some adjustments here.
Okay, very good. Right, on drcarolyndean.com, that's where you'll find on the home page, the first page, all my blog posts. And on November 6th, I posted something about hypothyroidism. And it's called 2014 Guidelines for Hypothyroidism. Now, that is not 2014 different guidelines. It's the year 2014. I just realized that sounds weird. And what has transpired is that the American Thyroid Association Task Force decided to look at hypothyroidism and help doctors, I guess, define it and diagnose it and treat it. And what they came up with, as I say in their, I think it was 207-page guideline paper, that just to continue on as we've been doing, but to narrow the treatments to just Synthroid as and it is the top-selling drug in the U.S. 22.6 million prescriptions are written annually for it. So Synthroid is a synthetic T4 thyroid hormone replacement. And what they did in this paper is decide that T3 therapy was not necessary. They decided that the Armour thyroid and the natural thyroid extracts using desiccated thyroid from animals was not necessary. So they pretty much just shut down the whole field of thyroid treatment. And what can happen out of these guidelines, I think the way medicine is moving into more cookbook medicine and assembly line medicine, is that you'll be given a prescription for Synthroid if you're told you have hypothyroidism, and the other treatment modalities won't even be looked at. And alternative medicine doctors, they want to use natural hormone replacement like Armour thyroid. And my focus, because I'm so much into minerals, is that you need 9 minerals necessary for, as I say, the creation, conversion, activation, and transport of thyroid hormones. And unless you have those minerals, yes, you're going to be thyroid hormone deficient. But if you have those minerals, you can build your own thyroid hormones. So it's a very good article, and it's right in the middle of this controversy about patients, and alternative medicine doctors fighting tooth and nail to be allowed to prescribe Armour thyroid, but they're falling into the misdiagnosis of the thyroid as a thyroid hormone deficiency, whereas it's a mineral deficiency in my estimation. Now, maybe some people need thyroid hormone and they can use minerals at the same time and build them up. And what I have found personally and with many, many clients and patients is that when you take the Relight multiple mineral that has 12 minerals, including the 9 for the thyroid, in my own experience, 2 months into taking the Relight, I no longer needed my Armour thyroid, and I knew that because I felt kind of a bit hyper, and then I took my pulse and it was a bit elevated, and I just felt that I had too much thyroid. And many people know what that feels like, because when you're adjusting your synthetic thyroid dose, you often will get a feeling like it's too much, so you have to cut back. So that was my thyroid blog, and it's It's one of the conditions that is epidemic. So many people have it. I got an email from a reader who said, it's possibly due to fluoride in the water, in dental products, and in medications. But it can be from many things, including yeast toxins that block thyroid hormones. In a sense, regardless of what the cause, you can still use minerals to help support your own thyroid, and those minerals in Relight, and also you would be taking the Remag. Those minerals, when they get inside cells, they will bump out toxins and poisons and heavy metals, clean out the cells, and get to work making more perfect cells, along with our Realign, which detoxifies the body, and our RNA drops that make perfect cells. So it all goes back to the complement formulas as being the necessary answer to most people's concerns. So I assume you're back, Virginia, to take over?
Yes, I am back, and that was very, very good. Does this sound a little better for you?
Excellent. No feedback there. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay, it must have been my phone. All right, so anyway, welcome back, everybody. Yes, or welcome me back, but we are live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on achieveradio.com. A couple things that we'll just throw out at the top of the hour, and then we shall proceed this evening or early afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. I think it's early afternoon for you, right, Carolyn?
Yes, where am I? 2:14 in Maui.
Very
with
good.
The lawnmower's going. I think I'm going to shut some windows.
Very good. Okay. Very good. If you're listening and would like to call in live and talk with Carolyn, you can call 602-666-6027. That's 602-666-6027, or toll free 888-235-7374. That's 888-235-7374. Also, if you have a question that you just want to InQuick in, you can go to achieveradio.com to Studio A. You'll see the InQuick messaging system on the right-hand side. Type in your InQuick message, and we'll get it here in the studio. And read it to Carolyn, and she'll answer it online. So we've got a lot of things to talk about, Carolyn, tonight. I've got a full plate of things, including some of the information that we sent out in our product update and announcement today. Would you like to talk about that?
Yes, I almost forgot. Yes, our manufacturer continues to work on perfecting the formula, and the latest perfection is in the preservative that's used. Now, everybody kind of goes a bit frantic when they hear about preservatives, but when you have a liquid formula, by the FDA ruling, you have to have some sort of preservative. And the one that now is in the Remag bottles is a sorbic acid, S as in Sam, O-R-B-I-C. And it's derived from mountain ash berries. It's non-GMO. And it's been traditionally used as a preservative for food, beverages, and wine. It has the ability to prevent spoilage caused by yeast, fungi, molds, and bacteria. It should not be confused with similar sounding additives like sorbitol or polysorbate or even ascorbic acid. It's just sorbic acid, S-O-R-B-I-C. FDA approved. It's got GRAS status, which means generally recognized as safe. And studies on sorbic acid find it to be non-toxic in acute oral toxicity studies. No significant adverse effects were observed when 10% sorbic acid was included in the diet. And the percentage concentration in the Remag and soon-to-be Relight is 0.025%. So we're saying that at 10% there were no side effects. So at 0.25% there's nothing going on. So we're using the least amount we possibly can just to comply with the FDA ruling. So it's a safe and effective natural preservative and a necessary part of the product to protect freshness. So that's what will be, that's what you blogged about, I think, Virginia, and we'll also put it on the website under the FAQs.
Yes, yep, we send it out to our customers, so if you're on the customer list, you will get a very specific explanation of sorbic acid, as Carolyn just detailed, in your email inbox, and so you will have that information on file. So we've got that information to share. And then let's see, what was the other thing how did the People's Pharmacy go on NPR?
It went very well. I did get an email. Apparently some folks, maybe in the quackbuster line of work, I don't know if they inundated NPR, but certainly a couple of them emailed NPR that according to our former distributor, I'm a terrorist, and that according to the Ontario College of Physicians and Surgeons who stole my license, that I shouldn't have any media attention put on me. And this is the intent of licensing bodies, to keep doctors from speaking either their mind or speaking the truth or speaking out against the standard practice of medicine, which is drugs and surgery. And that's how they keep the medical monopoly going. But the NPR folks, as far as I understand, the producers thought, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. She understood what an attack really looks like, and the show did go on. And I had a number of people signing up for the newsletter. It wasn't huge, like when I've been on Coast to Coast, George Norrie, I'm just swamped. So we know who has the bigger listenership. So it was a good experience, and I appreciate the fact that this NPR show will continue to air around the country. And however, I think it's going to be in 2 weeks. It actually goes into a commercial venue where you'd have to pay for it to get access to it. So what I'll be doing is having the MP3. I'll put it out in a blog. I'll put it on my Organized Wisdom library, so my people can have access to it at any time without having to pay for it.
Very good, very good. Yes, I noticed I actually kept the lines open, customer service, this weekend because we were getting so many phone calls.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
so we got a lot of phone calls on customer service. Of course, we haven't talked, and we run in so different worlds, but yeah, so we had a lot of phone calls, a lot of interest, some good emails and that kind of thing. So I thought it seemed to be very well received. Of course, I didn't know about the other people, but geez, that's just nutty. Wow. It does make perfect sense.
Yes, and I've explained that before. I used to do a lot of mainstream media, but then when the drug advertising started, they didn't want to have dissenting products talked about. If they were paying a couple $1 million for a drug ad, they didn't want somebody to come on right after and say, oh, well, no, you don't need this ulcer medication. You just need to use the safe DGL licorice for your ulcers or your heartburn and GERD. You don't need these drugs. And then, of course, at this point, I'd be saying, well, gosh, if you really saturate yourself with Remag and Relight, you might not need those half a dozen heart medications. So it is a battle, and we've got these folks who are caught right in the middle of the battle because they feel ill, they go to the doctor, and they get what the doctor knows. And all the doctor knows to give is drugs. So we've got people who are on medications. We've got areas of the country that are are literally just medical way stations with people who are eating a horrible diet, getting very overweight, getting all the chronic diseases, going to doctors, getting all the medical drug treatments and the surgical treatments, and they're just waiting for something to claim the body, the final stages. And I was talking to a friend in Texas, and she's in an area of the country taking care of her brother, and she says it's just horrendous, the lack of focus on any natural health care. There's one small, tiny health food store in a 100-mile radius, and of course the prices are twice as much as anything she used to see in New York or in L.A.
Wow, I'll tell you, I am shocked. The medical world is one thing that's occurring, but Carolyn, I have to tell you, over the weekend I saw a special report on CNN. I can't remember who the broadcaster was, but they had gone down to the jungles of Peru to do an investigative report on people who were trying to use ayahuasca to treat PTSD.
Oh, right.
And there were these, and all of them are former military people who are suffering from depression and trauma. And I guess this whole thing with this PTSD and these military folks is pretty extreme. 22 people a day, they're saying, are committing suicide as a result of PTSD, literally, right? Not the ion way. Literally committing suicide as a result of PTSD-related syndrome as a result of being in military or combat.
Wow. And PTSD, let's just tell people what that is. It's post-traumatic stress disorder.
Right. So all these people that we know that have been successfully helped with magnesium RNA drops realign, and they may have additional things that they would want to do, like be part of a support group to talk about the psychological, but the biological aspect of it, they're kind of treated with ayahuasca. And this one guy was like, I have chronic migraines and I have insomnia and I can't sleep at night. And I'm sitting on the edge of the couch screaming, that's magnesium,
Right,
and Greg's like, calm down. But here these people are going to even alternative, like such extremes to do something that can be so easily dealt with such a very basic, you know what I mean? I just...
I just have a letter from somebody today, and he says, before consulting you May 2014, I tried on several occasions to reduce my Flexerol and then Ativan. I failed on each attempt. I was put on these drugs to help deal with the back pain I was experiencing. They didn't work, in the doctors, MDs, pain management, neurologists, physical therapy, back specialists, internal medicine, hormone doctors wanted to increase the drug dosages. I also went through a series of 6 phenol injections and a cortisone shot. All these injections had very little relief. In addition, I've been through chiropractors, massages, and other treatments to no avail. That is when I had a 1-hour consult with you and started on the program that you suggested. I think it was just Remag and Relight. And then he said, I started to feel my overall health was getting better and decided to reduce the medications. It was hard, and I'm still feeling some withdrawal effects, but I've been off all medications for 9.5 weeks. I'm waiting for the yay.
Oh, you're sorry.
There.
I'm so mesmerized with what you're saying.
Now listen to this. Right.
I'm just sitting here going, wow, So anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And he said, I only had to take Tylenol 4 times in 2 months. And that's like taking a Tic Tac compared to all the drugs I was on. I believe the day I spoke with you was my liberation day from the downward spiral that I was on. There's still work to do, but I believe I'm on the road back. If it wasn't for your products, I don't know where I would be today. Thanks for all your help. So there.
Wow. Oh, my gosh. Wait a minute. Oh, my goodness gracious. Yeah, it's just every single day, as you know, you get the emails, I get phone calls, the people, the level of gratitude, what they're experiencing in their body, plus the psychological relief of not feeling like their life is a one-way street into decline and even more decline. You know what I'm saying? So there's that also, too, not only just the relief of all the symptoms and feeling better, getting stronger, but then there's just the liberation of knowing that their bodies are perfect, can get better, will get better when given the basic building blocks, and they can resume living fully again. Wow.
We are the greatest. There's no doubt. We are the greatest.
Thank you, Bob.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we're live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on Achieve Radio, celebrating being the greatest, and certainly being part of something that is absolutely bringing people so much unspeakable joy. The recovery of health, vitality, and well-being and peace of mind is something that just cannot, there's no price you can put on it. And in today's world with so many factors that are threatening people's health and their vitality and their well-being, to have this very simple, basic, profoundly amazing complement formula program is just a gift. So thank you again, Carolyn, for all your work and all your endeavors, and we shall proceed. If you have a question or comment for Dr. Dean and you're on the phone, just hit star 5 on your keypad. That will raise your hand on my system and let me know you have a question or comment, something you'd like to share or say, and I'll put you on the line with Dr. Dean. And if you are listening and you want to call in, 602-666-6027. And if we don't hear from you, we will have no choice but to amuse ourselves with witty conversation and mailbag questions. But fortunately, we have all kinds of waving hands, Carolyn. So shall we go to the calls and talk to a few folks from around the country, around the world?
Yeah, rope them in here. Rope them in.
Rope them in. All right, here we go. Let us begin. Area code 919 from the great state of North Carolina. You're on the line with Dr. Carolyn Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Okay. Hi, Dr. Carolyn Dean. This is Ramona.
Hi, Ramona.
I have several questions. I want to find out. I did the RBC, and it came back 4.8, which means I'm in the norm but not optimum. So I want to find out, does that mean in order to get optimum, do I need to increase my Remag, or will it increase over time with the same dosage?
What are you on, Ramona?
I'm on the Remag and the Relight, and I take the Remag about 3 teaspoons versus the Relight I take about maybe 2.5. And I do it once a day.
And no, what we need you to do is put it all in a liter of water and sip it through the day.
Okay. I have been doing that. I've been doing that 32 ounces, and I put in the half a teaspoon of Himalayan salt, and I put in that, the Relat with the Remag. But I noticed it was only 4.8, so I was should I maybe increase the Remag or the Relight?
Well,
or take it twice a day, or?
Well, I want you to sip that 32 ounces over 10 hours.
Oh, okay. So I think I've been doing it more like 4 or 5. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and that may not be so bad, but do you mind me asking you, Ramona, how much do you weigh?
I weigh about 160. Okay,
that's not. Yeah, I'm just wondering if you're taking enough. Are you on any medications?
No, I don't believe in those at all. No, that's a curse word to me.
Right. And is there fluoride in your water?
There could be. I have not transferred over. I don't have fluoride in my toothpaste, but I have not transferred over to the water, and that was my next question on that one. So I'm trying to make that, when I get the money, I want to go ahead and change that one as well.
Yeah, because what what I'm getting at, I'm trying to figure out what ways you might be wasting your magnesium, and 3 teaspoons. It's 3 times more than the maintenance, but the therapeutic amount, 2 to 4 teaspoons, and the fact that you're 4.8. I mean, that is with 3 teaspoons a day, you should be much higher.
Yeah.
So you're losing it somehow. Do you have a lot of stress in your world?
Let's see, not just like normal, I guess, not heavily, but definitely normal.
Well, what were your magnesium deficiency symptoms when you decided to go on the Remag?
I think at the time, I was having a little bit of leg cramps, and I think I wasn't sleeping as well. I was always waking up 1 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I was having some leg cramps. So then I said, you know what, I think I need some Remag. I think I need some magnesium.
Right. Now, is that better, the cramps and the waking up?
And I noticed that, and I was also having a lot of fibrillation, I guess palpitation. I noticed that I'm not having as much palpitation. I have very little leg cramps, maybe once every couple of weeks, maybe. So it is helping me, but it's not, I feel like it's not optimum yet.
Yeah, because if you're still getting, your heart kicking up a little bit here and there, it still means you're not saturated. And I mean, you're on the edge of being saturated because, maybe your symptoms are about, 75, 80% better?
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, at least 80%, 75%. So I'm just wondering.
I'd go to 4 teaspoons. Teaspoons, and then put it in the quart of water and sip it throughout the day. And the reason for that is that when I've had people say, "Oh yeah, I take my 2 teaspoons all at once," well, your cells take in what they need at the moment, and then they get rid of the rest, and it urinates out, and it goes into your intestines, and you don't get the laxative effect. So it's just a matter of wisely using your magnesium and not wasting it.
Okay. All right, thank you for that. The next question I have, because I have done a colon cleanse before, and I was thinking about doing, before I got into your program, I was thinking about doing a kidney and liver detox. I wanted to find out how will Realign address that, meaning will it address all the organs for detoxification, or is it just specific to a particular organ? How does it work, or do I need anything besides that?
Well, I don't think you need anything else. I have a concern with doing, especially a liver detox, because the liver will harbor viruses in order to protect the body from the virus. So there are cases of people who, dive in, do a big liver detox, and then they release stuff out of the liver. And so the way the Realign works, it works with there's methyl groups in it, there's the methionine that makes the glutathione, there's sulfur groups, and it assists the liver with the methylation and the sulfation to help liver detoxification. And the glutathione, it works in all the cells of the body. The detox that I recommend if I go there, the easiest one is the clay baths. There's a type of clay you can blend it up in your blender and then pour it in your bath, and that's described under my resources at drcarolyndean.com. And for my clients and patients, if they really require any other detox, I will recommend coffee enemas. I consider them
Isn't clay not very good if you're trying to, because once in a while I don't have high blood pressure, but it can become uncontrollable from time to time, so I have to keep it in control. Doesn't clay cause it to get out of control?
I've never heard that, Ramona. I mean, are you talking about, I'm just talking about in a bathtub. I'm not talking about taking clay. This is external clay. Because, and you know, then again, I use bentonite clay in my yeast detox. So that's something that I know of, and I've never heard that clay can be a problem for blood pressure.
Okay. And then last thing I have with that, since I have not taken Realign, I've done the Remag and Relight. When I decide to get the Realign, how do you start? Because I understand you're supposed to really start with the Realign and then the Remag. What would I do once I have it? Would I still stay on the Remag and Relight and introduce the Realign with that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's all. But then what you do is just take one a day for a week and then go to the 2 a day.
Okay.
So,
and the last, go ahead. I'm sorry. The last 2 questions I have is in terms of water. You know, we talk about water a lot. What is the best water to drink? I used to drink reverse osmosis. I went from that to now just regular spring water, and I went from that to sometimes electrolyte water. You know, so and everybody has different opinions on the water. Really, what is the best water to drink at this point?
Well, yeah, reverse osmosis it's pretty much like distilled water. Everything is taken out of it. So that's where we've got so many people who are dehydrated and mineral deficient because, you know, they drink such filtered water. And you got to be careful. The store-bought waters, most of them are just distilled water now. What I do, there's a gentleman named Jeff, Jeff. He sells wholesale water filters to the public at pureearth.com. And I don't even know Jeff, but when I was in New York, I used to get my water filters through him. And you can talk to him directly or email him. And he has very good prices. And you just tell him what kind of water you want filtered. Find out from your local water department if there's fluoride and chlorine, and ask him what's the best water filter for that.
Okay, it's called pureearth.com?
Correct.
Okay. And this is the last question. I want to find out, one time I made my formula, the Remag and the Relight, with a 32-ounce bottle of water. But I forgot to take it with me, and I went on a little overnight trip. So when I came back, Bill was still sitting on my kitchen table waiting for me. Of course, it was the next day. Was that still good to drink?
Oh, yes. Yeah, the thing about the minerals is they don't go bad. And I talked in the beginning, there is a little safe preservative in the Remag and Relight anyway. But the shelf life of these minerals is years and years and years, but we're by the FDA we have to put a best buy date, and that they tell us about 2 years. Okay,
great. Thank you so much for all your answers. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Good questions too. You helped a lot of people, Vermont. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm glad I did. Okay, take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Excellent questions. That's right. And let's press on here. 20 minutes to the top of the hour. We're live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on AchieveRadio.com. Going to area code 248. You're on the line with Dr. Carolyn Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Yes, my name is Karen. I'm calling from Michigan. And hello, Dr. Carolyn. I'm very happy to meet you.
Thanks, Karen. Thank you for calling in. I don't think it takes bravery to call in here, but it takes some fortitude, doesn't it? Figuring out the time and figuring out what you're going to say. So what do you have for us today?
I recently read an article from Dr. Mercola's newsletter about the CPRO and the damage that can be caused. What is the fluoride? I don't know the full name of it, the CPRO, and I have had some issues that seemed tied to this, and madly researching the website, I found you, and I ordered your products without talking to you, and I'm 3 days in. And so I know, and I'll give you a quick kind of background because it's been an interesting journey over the last year. November 8th of last year, I had a car accident. I was improving. In April, I had what I thought might not have been a bladder infection, had 9 days of Cipro. I saved 2 pills, thinking if I ever have that again, I want to have these extra because it hurt so badly. 3 days later, I went to Passover Seder with my synagogue, and we hold papers and read. And about 30 minutes in, I could not hold up a piece of paper. And I thought, what is going on with me? And then tried to deal with it, and I had my head down. And then I had a sudden inability to hold my arms up, and I had shooting pain go from my neck down to my tailbone. And that was back in April. And then I've had the inability to use my arms since then to do basic everyday tasks and have not been able to figure it out. Then basically reading this article from Dr. McColl's website, which got me to you, I started thinking, my goodness, could this have actually not been a bladder infection? And you know, could you help? I'm having things like eye twitching, insomnia and sweating, this beyond the neck weakness, and I've had pain in my feet so badly that I could not walk. And here, 3 days in, just with the directions, with the minimal dosage on your bottles, I'm wondering how to move forward. But I can walk. I have no pain today. And I'm tickled pink, but I think, I know, I'm so excited to share this, but I'm just starting this way, but with someone who's taken Cipro and a lot of antibiotics for acne as a teenager and other series of Cipro. I didn't know if you had any other suggestions having had taken Cipro.
Now, I missed the last sentence. Any suggestions about what?
Beyond the directions on your bottles, I got Remag, Relife, the Realign, and RNA, and did follow the directions there, and am seeing some surprisingly quick results with my feet. So having had specifically the Cipro poisoning, do you have any other suggestions, you know, in dosage beyond how I've begun?
Sure. Well, congratulations for, you know, feeling better already. And it's good that you got the all 4 formulas. And what you do from here on is just go slowly into the dosing. Every 2 days, add another 1/4 teaspoon of the Remag and Relight. Put both liquids in a 32-ounce bottle of water and sip it through the day, like I was saying to Ramona, and just slowly build up. Read the Remag book and read the Relight book. In the Remag book, there's a section called When Magnesium Makes Me Worse, because what can happen when you're starting to build up your magnesium and then say you go away, like somebody just said, they went away, and Ramona, and you don't take your doses for a day or two, then the body can rebel, and, you know, really it's gotten revved up and starting to work better, and then it will miss a dosage, and you might get a relapse of symptoms. If you were to take too much all at once, you might get stirred up. Someone emailed me, I think it was just today, that they were so excited they just took a teaspoon of each Remag and Relight, and it just stirred them all up, and it got them nervous. and literally nervous. So what the minerals are going to do is help detox the Cipro out of the cells. The Cipro binds, the fluoride in Cipro, we think binds up the magnesium and deposits it in the muscles and joints and tendons, and that's what causes the pain. If you've already got sort of vulnerable areas, and the neck is a big vulnerable area for us because we're always bending over typing and, our sitting posture. So that's where some calcium can be deposited. And then on top of that, you get this fluoride, magnesium fluoride compound depositing. So there's all kinds of reasons for why you've been harmed by Cipro, and usually the underlying reason for the people I talk to is they start out being magnesium deficient, and then either in your case it may be the cumulative effect. If you've had many prescriptions of Cipro over the years, it can be accumulative, and then all of a sudden it's a straw that breaks the camel's back. And you know, I have young people, athletes, who will get Cipro damage because they've sweated out a lot of magnesium. So you just build up slowly. If you're not on medications, you might need 3 to 4 teaspoons of Remag, but stay around a teaspoon and a half to 2 teaspoons of Relight. The Reline is just going to be 2 a day. 1 a day for the first week, and then go to 2. The RNA drops real slow, 1 drop twice a day, and then add a drop or 2 every week. And that's sort of the basic formula. But what happens sometimes, especially with people who've been ill for a long time, they start feeling better within the first week, and they go for a hike, or they clean the house because they haven't been able to do it, and then they relapse, and they, occasionally will email or call and say, I'm worse, the magnesium isn't working, and of course I have to remind them that no, you're really in a process here. You really have to give it time and allow for the body to detoxify the drug and build up the magnesium. The other thing in your case is to look at yeast toxicity. Go to the archives and of the Dr. Dr. Carolyn Dean live.com and type in yeast and do yeast overgrowth treatment, because the yeast toxins are probably part of the pain syndrome that you've got.
Yeah. Well, I know, and as you spoke, I just realized that I have 4 herniated discs on my neck. Yeah, and I don't know how Cipro can work with that, because I had nerve testing after the car accident, and the neurologist said I should be able to return to normal function. So, that's your vulnerable area, and that's where it's settled. So you just have to be extra careful. And I read out the testimonial of this young man who got into a lot of meds because of real bad back pain, and it wasn't until he started the Remag and Relight that he started being able to treat his back pain plus get off his medications. So yes, it's a process, and you have reasons to have the symptoms you have, but it never means that they're going to stay that way. You can definitely overcome them. Yeah. Well, I just want to thank you for all the work that you've done and all the years and the dedication. I lead a little Bible study on Mondays, and I launched into talking about you and pulling up the stocks first thing this morning. So I hope. And their ages are 60 to 70. They're always looking for things and coming off their medications. Yeah, so I'm tickled to find you. My husband is really tickled, and I'll look forward to helping them and directing them to you as well. God bless you.
Oh, God bless you too, Karen. And please keep us posted, because Cipro is out there. You'll go to the forums and find that people say, they can't be cured, and they'll even say, I've tried magnesium and it doesn't work, but they don't know about Remag, that's where you can get the therapeutic doses without the laxative effect, so you can actually get treated properly. So if you have a mind to go to these Cipro forums and tell your experience, because they're floundering, because the doctors don't even have a clue what's happening.
Yes, I'm aware of that. My old line of work, I actually trained doctors in bioelectromagnetism, and I'm very aware of the things that you're saying and the things you teach.
Very good. Well, we appreciate you calling in. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, Karen.
Bye-bye.
Oh, what an absolutely beautiful person, Carolyn.
Yeah, that was wonderful. I know, this is so great when people call up right in the midst of their recovery and share what's happening with them. It's just fabulous. And of course, sharing it in Bible study, sharing it on forums, because we're all just trying to help each other at this point. Medical-wise, the doctors really have never been educated in nutrients, so they're really not going to be able to help.
Right, exactly. And, like I said earlier, when I saw the extreme, people are going to use psychedelics and go to Peru just to try to get relief from the basic symptoms of magnesium and mineral deficiency, along with a couple other things like yeast, which I'm sure is an aggravant in any kind of a situation like that, where you have any kind of a depression, having wheat and yeast and all those, toxins in your body is just going to inflame that. So,
right.
To see
well, what happens with men who have the PTSD? They do tend to turn toward alcohol. And the alcohol is going to grow yeast, and it's going to cause magnesium deficiency. And even if they go to AA, what do they serve at AA except donuts and coffee laced with sugar? So they keep up the yeast growth and continue to have symptoms. So it's a huge complex problem, and it's a huge commitment for people to be able to give up their sugar and their alcohol and eat well and take their supplements, and some people just can't do it. I know in the autistic community I was very frustrated dealing with busy parents who worked all day and came home at night, and their children were taken care of by sitters, and they just weren't able to do a sugar, gluten, and dairy-free diet. But if a mother and father could do that for their children, that's what really made the difference is the diet.
Wow. Very good. We're live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here at AchieveRadio.com. Again, we'll just remind everybody that we're also on Achieve TV. If you're tuned into the website, you might want to just go out to the main page and look at the newest technology that Bill's hoisted up for us. Of course, we're not used to it yet, so we'll continue to experiment and expand on our new Achieve TV debut, but at the very least, you can look at the pretty pictures and notice that that's what's occurring here as we continue to touch the globe and the world and multi-world, all kind of dimensions with the great news of the complement formulas, and that people can expect to feel well and get better and enjoy life again. They don't have to suffer, especially from things that are inflicted from silly things like, run amok pharmaceutical companies and nutty processed food manufacturers. Those people should not be able to impinge on your joy. So, very good. Anyway, Carolyn, what should we do next hour? Shall we do the mailbag as well? Do we have mailbag questions?
Yeah, we have a huge mailbag this week, so that'd be great, Jenny.
Okay, very good. All right. Let's see. Anything else we want to add at the very tippy top of the hour? We've only got about 2 minutes before we go to the break.
Okay, here's a couple quickies. An email. I'm a big fan of yours. I'm confused on two things. I'm salt sensitive. Have tried putting Redmond salt in my water for a day. My blood pressure went up. Is it because I could be magnesium deficient? Yes, it's possible. What Redmond salt may not be the best salt in the world. Some people have said when they've gone to better salts, more high-quality salts like Celtic or Himalayan, that the salt was absorbed into the cells better and did not cause fluid retention and the blood pressure. So you want to look at the other salts and just use a little pinch of salt to slowly build up and let your body get used to it. I'm done.
Very good. Another minute.
When I take magnesium natural calm, I have loose bowels every morning. I feel like it's making me deficient in all my minerals, and that can be very true. And that's where we work with the Mailbag, which is 100% absorbed at the cellular level and does not cause any loose bowel movements, and you retain all your nutrients.
Very good. And also, Carolyn, I want to ask you the next hour about, I see this posting a lot on our page in different forums where people say, if I get my magnesium in balance, then does it start to deplete my other minerals? So is that the reason for the Relight, is to keep it?
And the sea salt, yeah, the Relight and the sea salt, definitely. It's important to put them all together. And I don't know that Mailbag wastes other minerals, but it kind of overcomes other minerals deficiency symptoms. When I started taking my Relight, I did not need as much Mailbag.
Very good. All right, we're live with Dr. Carolyn Dean, back in just a few seconds after we wet our whistle and take a quick commercial break here at AchieveRadio.com. We'll be right back, everybody. Stay tuned.
Psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is AchieveRadio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AchieveRadio.
Everybody, we're live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here at AchieveRadio.com, hour 2 of our broadcast this evening, and welcoming all callers, all listeners from around the world. As I've said before, I'm always so thrilled and impressed with the people that we get from all over the world who are using our products. We're even South Africa. I mean, it's just incredible to welcome so many people to this whole program and the work of Dr. Carolyn Dean. I know that I have a permanent FAQ translation, Carolyn, on my desktop for people. I get so many people even emailing from our Latin American countries. So we're grateful everybody's here this evening. It's fantastic to have everybody on board, and it's exciting to be able to know that what we're providing is just the basic building blocks for you to do the rest of the magic with your own natural perfection that's in every single cell of your body. So welcome back. Brian in Boston, Massachusetts. Carolyn, you definitely have a friend and a fan named Brian who says, "Hi, Carolyn. I'm looking forward to listening to you tomorrow on the Anxiety Summit with Trudy Scott. Let's rock that remag." He's all wound up. What is the Anxiety Summit with Trudy Scott? Something else?
That's a good point. Yeah, thanks, Brian. Let me look at my drcarolyndean.com page.
Hey, Carolyn.
See what I'm doing.
Let me just add this while you look that up. Ginny, how do we get Brian on the RNA drops, or is he already on them?
Which Brian?
The one who's celebrating you in Boston. People celebrate Remag. Are they also aware of RNA drops, or are they just whacked out on Remag?
Well, if you're asking me, Bob, the answer is that all the complete formulas, RNA drops are the foundational formula that everything else was built upon. So I don't know if Remag's price point is a little bit different, I think, than the drops, and they are for the relief of magnesium deficiency. There's also a relief that you get from eye cell deficiency.
Right.
So
if they get healthy, with Remag, then you tell them there's a spiritual health that comes with the eye cell.
So Brian, in quick, and tell Bob whether or not you're on RNA drops. He seems to want to know that.
Yeah, no, people are I can understand them wanting to get healthy. Well, they have to get healthy with the Remag. But are they aware that once they're healthy and everybody's happy, you can move forward with the RNA drops, which is going to create new perfect cells?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, well, Brian says that he is already using the RNA drops as well. So now he's saying, let's rock the RNA too. So equal time.
Good.
Equal time, yeah.
So on the
Go ahead, Carolyn.
So the Anxiety Summit I'm speaking tomorrow, as Brian reminded us. So just go to drcarolyndean.com at the bottom under media, under summits. I say join me on the Anxiety Summit, where a dozen experts present nutritional solutions with host and food mood expert Trudy Scott from November 3 to 16. And the way the summits work is you just sign up for free, and if you happen to be around on the days when the lectures occur, you can listen for free, and usually for the next 24, 48 hours. And then I think at the end of these summits, they do sell them as a package, but you can get them for free at the time of the exposure. So tomorrow, and I don't even know what time I'm on. Oh, gosh. But if you sign up, you'll get an announcement telling you when my lecture takes place. So there you go.
Very good. Also, Joe McKenzie in Redondo Beach, who we know takes the RNA drops, that he definitely got relief from his ankylosing spondylitis, which is a very rare thing to get relief from by using the other drops. It says, hello, Dr. Dean, just wanted to thank you for the Future Health Now modules. I absolutely love getting each module. I just received my KDF shower filter today. I'm looking forward to taking chlorine-free showers. Also, I received my flax seeds today. I can't thank you enough for everything you do. That's so sweet. Aw, we love Joe. Joe's a great guest. We love Joe. Also, Brian is gone far beyond the call of duty not only referring us to his friends and family, but he's also indicating that he's talking us up to other planets and galaxies as well.
Exactly. You're way ahead of Bob on that one. Good for you, Brian.
There you go. Way to get ahead of the curve. That's right. Excellent, excellent. So also Brian, full of more suggestions, says another great sea salt to use is Aztec sea salt. You can get it at aztecseasalt.com. So thank you very much. Thank you, Brian, for your participation here. So we can go back to the phones, Carolyn, if you want to, and I know we've got our mailbag to do as well. So you want to take a few phone calls, and then we'll press on with our mailbag?
Yes, let's do the phone calls, not keep people waiting.
Okay, very good. Area code 828-828. Again, the great state of North Carolina. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the line, Dr. Yes, you're on the line with Carolyn.
You're in the middle of a windstorm. What can you do about that?
I don't think I can do anything. Hang on one second. I'll do my best here. I'm so sorry. I was calling because I've been on the magnesium, and I started on the magnesium, and then I started, I guess about a month later, on the RNA. It was really interesting to me. I felt like something in my digestive system definitely changed between what goes in and what comes out. It was different, but it's very hard to describe. I've lost 20 pounds. I didn't change a single thing diet-wise. And I've stopped the RNA drops only because I couldn't afford them, not because I didn't want them. They're wonderful. I've since gotten my mother on this. My mom is 90, and she has kind of been taking them sporadically, and I'm hoping she's listening right now. Gave her the phone number, and she was going to call. So she mentioned she doesn't always remember to gradually build up, and so it's hard to get her to do the gradual thing. And the other day she talked to a friend of mine who was saying it would be great to work up to 3 teaspoons, and so she jumped into 3 teaspoons.
Now, what are you talking about? Hang on. Are you talking about Remag or RNA drops?
No, the Remag.
What?
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
The Remag.
Okay.
She has RNA drops, but doesn't remember them, I think, mainly because they're in the refrigerator, so they're out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But she had a tremble last night, in a tremor, like in her head and hands, that lasted briefly but was uncontrollable, and wondered if that might be a response from taking too much magnesium. Does that ring any bells with you?
Yes, it can, yeah. If you read the Remag book in the section called When Magnesium Makes Me Worse, when you all of a sudden flood your cells with a lot of well-absorbed magnesium, it can just turn on a whole lot of pathways and stir things up. But it's usually short-lived, and it's usually, when you take a whole lot. And in some people, when they're very toxic, if they take it and don't build up gradually. But it's not a problem.
Okay. And have you, or I know this isn't your specific field, but I had a dog with congestive heart failure, and I wondered if there's anything you could add to possibly rebuilding, repairing.
Right. We get a lot of questions. I have an email in the mailbag here about somebody's, I think it's a 20-pound dog, and they've got their dog on 8 to 10 drops of Remag and 2 drops of RNA, and I think it's like Ginny said at one point, or maybe this is Ginny's note, that Relight is a huge detoxifier and has caused bad breath in some animals. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of guidance.
I'm sorry, I missed that. It does what in some animals?
Too much cleansing?
Ginny, can you mention what happens with Relight in your dogs?
Yeah, Relight is just an amazing detoxifier, and in my dogs, it aggravates the toxins that are in their mouth, and so they just have really bad breath. And so does our cat. So I don't think it's just a dog thing. I mean, I think it just aggravates the toxins and the bacteria that are in animals' mouths. It just pulls them out and brings them to the surface. So we just use it sparingly every other slaughtering.
Well, I had him on the Remag and the RNA drops, and I'm just guessing we didn't make it, and I'm just guessing we didn't have enough time to work with it. I'm thinking it was like 6 or 7 weeks kind of thing, and by the time I realized I was out of town for a couple of weeks, and when I got home, it was kind of full blown. So she put him on Lasix, and we were trying to convert him to some natural diuretics, but it strikes me that when you're in that urgent situation, you need something that works quickly, and I didn't know what else to do except for we were muscle testing, and we got him on a lesser amount of the diuretic, but we could never get to the point where we could switch him over to some natural things, and he tested really strong on the Remag and on the RNA, and I'm just guessing we didn't have enough time to work with it. It's with
well,
that. I know
you do your best, that's all.
Yeah. So would you think that that's a possibility? It just depends on, the severity and the age and how much time you have to play with?
I think so. I mean, there can be heart damage, and if you have long enough and you're willing to dose the patient several times a day, a person, I think, can heal these conditions, but we don't have studies or the clinical experience. It's all done so individually. So if you're muscle testing, I mean, that's a guideline that you can go by, but we can just sort of surmise and give you examples of what other people have done.
Yeah, well, that's what I was hoping for, and I thank you for that. I was raised with a lot of alternative things, and we had a doctor that I grew up with that did raw vegetable juicing and fasting and colonics and that kind of thing. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm coming from. But thank you for that, and thanks for these products. They're just exceptional.
Oh, thank you so much. And thanks for calling in, and shout out to your mom there and tell her to just cut back to 1.5 teaspoons to 2 teaspoons a day and try not to overdo it. And you see, if you take it all at once, too, you kind of overwhelm. You want to put your dose in that liter of water and be sipping it through the day.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Welcome, everybody. Again, we're live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on AchieveRadio.com. And just a quick note out to Debbie in Idaho, who says, can you please repeat the website where we can register for the grand prize drawing? I'm like, okay, wow, that must be coming from another world. Do we have any grand prize drawings right now, Carolyn?
No. Well, the grand prize is when you order your products, you get healthy. I think that's our major grand prize.
There you go, Debbie. You might have heard that on an old archive, but we don't have any grand prize drawings yet. So who knows what will be happening in the next span of timing. But so far, we haven't done anything recently. Last year, I did a big thing for Radio Free Ion, but that's been long over. Also, she said, I have a neuroma on my left toe and foot and wondered if I should spray Remag or Renew on it. Do you think either one of these products might help?
Right. We had a testimonial about a neuroma, Neuroma, on a foot, where somebody started spraying the Remag on it and couldn't believe that it went away and did not have to have surgery. And I put I'd alternate. I'd put the Renew on it as well. And the way you do the transdermal Remag is you just put the straight Remag in a spray bottle and spray and let dry and spray and let dry about 4 or 5 times, kind of layer the Remag on it and do that process about 3 times a day. And we've had great results with that. And so you do the same, Debbie, and then call us and tell us how well it worked.
Very good. What's a neuroma, Carolyn? I always learn all this stuff on these calls.
Well, N-E-U-R, that means nerve, and oma, it means the nerve is kind of bundled up in a little bit of scar tissue, and usually they're in the foot. Painful.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Don't have any of that going on. Very good. I checked that off my list. Okay. Okay, very good. Again, if you're on the line and you want to talk with Dr. Carolyn Dean, hit *5 on your keypad, *5. That will let us know that you have something to say, and we will put you on the line with Dr. Dean. And in the meantime, if we don't have anybody who wants to say anything to our wise and wonderful Dr. Dean, we will press on with our mailbag. All right, so let's see. How are we doing this evening? Oh, no, there we go. Hands waving. Here we go. Area code 760. You're on the line with Dr. Dean. Go ahead. Get your comment or question as well as your name, please.
My name is Melody, and I've been taking the RNA drops, the Remag, the Relight, the Realign, for, I'm going to say 6 months. But I have not been drinking the salt water. I have been, but very hit and miss, mostly miss. And have I wasted all the Remag and the Relight?
No. No, it's just, it's like another level of improvement when you do the good sea salt. I mean, some people don't do any of that, but it's almost like in layers. So when people call up and they say, well, I'm 70% better, 75, I'd like to feel even better. And then I go through, what are you doing? And if they're not doing the sea salt, I say, well, do it. And then they'll call back a week or two later, yep, that really helped. One gentleman didn't want to even leave the house because he said, with all this water you're making me drink, I'm going to have to go to the bathroom all the time. And I said, well, your sea salt should be taking care of that. And he said, oh, my gosh, I forgot my sea salt. A couple days later, he said, yeah, that really worked, because the sea salt does help, along with the Remag Relight, pull the minerals into the cells, pull the water in after them, and take the water out of the tissues. So you just do it now that you kind of intellectually know the reasoning behind it, and go to the next level of wellness. Okay?
Okay. One other question. I do have some good sea salt my sister bought me, but if I put in the recommended dose, or if my sister does, it really makes me gag. But if I put more salt in, it's easier to drink it. Is that okay?
Well, there's kind of a maximum to take. So, maybe what you do, if you like the taste of stronger salt, just use that in half your water, so that you're ending up with, your body weight in ounces of water. Say it's, 60 ounces of water. Well, we'd want you in a quart of water, which is 32 ounces, to put a half a teaspoon. So in the 60 ounces, it would be a whole teaspoon a day. So just work it out that way, and look to getting the total amount of salt that would help you, and drink that in however much water you want to, and play with it that way. So did you understand what I said there, or was I too crazy?
Yes. I'm sure my sister's listening, so she will be sure to
translate. Okay.
Hey, Carolyn, I'd like to add, we don't say it enough, is you can't tell what the drops are doing to you. they work on stuff in you that you don't even know about. So if you're not getting some kind of feelings or some improvement sense, it doesn't matter. Incredible things are being done, and they will surface eventually. So you have to remind people that it's a silent process of making new cells. And we have many examples of people, after 10 months, nothing happening, then all of a sudden a dramatic change, a serious issue cleared up within 3 days. You know, if they had stopped at 8 months, they would have missed it. So we don't. What do you say, Carol? It took a long time to get sick. Well, in a way, it's going to take a long time to get better. But at least you're working with something that will get you better. But it might take 10 months to really notice something.
Yeah, we don't say that enough, and that's very true. These are not like medications that suppress symptoms. They go to the layers in the body and the priorities in the body and take care of them one by one. And I know you're not saying this, Melody. You're not saying, well, you know, I wish it would do more. That wasn't your point at all. But we're just using, you know, your question to say to people, don't, you know, look for your complement formulas to do this and that when they're busy taking care of things that you're not even aware of.
Yes, I was on the drops for 3 years, and all of a sudden my left elbow started getting numb up to my hand, and that is where I chipped the humerus, it was called, of the elbow 50 years ago. So 3 years into taking 100 drops twice a day of RNA drops, it finally got there and started re-knitting the damaged cellular structure in the elbow.
So how does it feel now, Bob? I haven't.
Well, I've had numbness in my left hand for about a year, and it's finally diminished. About 2 months ago, it started to be a lot less. So I knew it took a year for it to do whatever it's doing in my elbow.
Right. Well, that's because we're on the slow boat to China. Other people, they can have a miracle happen overnight. So.
Yeah, but then other things are going on, and they might think, oh, I only had one miracle. Well, other miracles are being worked on. So for the caller, I didn't get the name.
Melody.
Melody, what do you think of that? 3 years later, it gets to my elbow.
Wow. Well, I know I called in, I called in before, and I had a stroke. And my question at that time was, can these formulas heal the effects of a stroke? And the answer was not really. But
I said that?
Yes, because I asked, like, could I walk again? And will my hand ever open again?
Well, did they?
No.
Not yet. I would say we'll do a heal stroke. I don't think there's anything in the RNA drops and remag and the whole 5 aspects could not correct.
Yeah, I think we've had so much experience, perhaps since you've called, Melody. I don't know when it was, but Joe, someone who inquicked, he had ankylosing spondylitis and I'm forgetting if it was 20 or 30 years. And
15 years, I understood.
Oh, okay.
And he was bent over.
Right.
He was bent over, frozen, in a ridiculous posture.
And after 3-6 months on all the formulas, he's out riding his bicycle around.
And sitting up straight.
Yeah, and scaring friends and family because they never expected to see him get better. So, yeah, I wouldn't give up at all. And
I'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I will for sure.
And what has shifted in your body since you've been taking the Melody?
Well, I hesitate to say, but nothing that I can see or feel. I mean, I desperately want something to shift because because I have been taking them, and I mean.
Well, I would say to relax the desperately wanting. The wanting can get in the way. Just assume it's going to happen.
Yeah. Are you listening to any of the archives or any of the ION shows? Because that can help you sort of, see the possibility and know that there is a possibility. And I can see now why you're asking if taking the salt water, if that has sort of held things back. And, perhaps in a way it has. Perhaps that's the key to the next stage because, we, in a sense, we do control the amount of quote-unquote healing that we allow ourselves because, even if I said to you, well, I don't know if it'll heal that, I was probably being realistic. I didn't want to, offer you something that I didn't really believe in myself. But I know from even my Magnesium Miracle book that doctors, there's a Dr. Rind, R-I-N-D, in Washington who's using IV magnesium for strokes. And in the past year, I've had people getting off their IV magnesium onto Remag and finding they do much better on Remag than they did even on the IV magnesium. So the magnesium itself should be helping to heal a person of the symptoms of stroke. And I know our RNA drops, they can create new cells. So the possibility is definitely there. And part of it is just knowing, kind of having an intuition or knowing. Like some people, when they have something this horrendous happen to them, they just say, no, I know I'm going to get better. And there'll be other folks who just say, well, I guess that's the end of it. And the fact that you're taking the complement formulas, you're willing to keep going means you really believe, well, this is something that's going to help me, and I am going to be better. And that is half the battle.
I'm going to keep it. I'll keep going.
Okay, Melody, and check in with us every once in a while. We'd love to hear from you, okay?
Thank you very much. Okay.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Very good, very good. Thank you, Melody, for calling in. Awesome, awesome. Live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on Achieve Radio. Let's go to area code 704. 704, you're on the line with Dr. Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Hi, Jenny. Hi, Dr. Dean. It's Roseanne. How are you?
Hi, Roseanne.
Hey, Roseanne.
Doing good, thank you.
I'm so excited for tomorrow. It's 11/11.
Oh, 11/11. Oh, right. Oh, right. Yeah, Roseanne was emailing me. She heard on one of the maybe a payday show that the next generation of RNA drops is 111. And Ginny, I guess maybe I mentioned it to you, but Roseanne wanted to know what were the possibilities of her getting the 111 generation for her birthday, which is tomorrow. Is that right, Roseanne?
Yes, it's 11/11. Yes, Jenny has contacted me, and we made all the arrangements. So that's why I called and say thank you very much. I'm so looking forward to this. I feel like it's
wonderful.
Much of synchronicity. But thank you. But I wanted to add something to Melanie when she was just talking about the RNA making a difference. I remember when I first started, back when, I guess 2009, I've been on the RNA and the product since then. About 5 years ago.
Early 2011. Our products didn't come out till early 2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't do time, so there you go. But anyway, probably 7 years ago, I'm a runner, and so one morning I was running downhill training for a race, and it was another fall I had. So I had gone down, fell early in the morning, and what had happened since that race, I've had somewhat of a hard time taking a deep breath for years. And I always got concerned, during the year, but I never did go to the doctors for it. I just said, I'll just deal with it. But sometimes it was always hard for me to take that real deep breath. And that was from the fall, from the impact of me falling on the right side of my body, just pretty much, falling really hard of the impact of the right side, running downhill. Anyway, so when I got on the products, honestly, I never thought twice about, this RNA is going to fix this, and this is the reason I'm taking it. I never, ever had that in my mind. So as she's talking tonight, I'm thinking, I never have a problem taking a deep breath anymore. I mean, this is now that I think about it, I'm like, in the past year and a half, this is not even a thought in my mind. But prior to that, it was. But what I'm saying is, when I took the RNA, there was no real intention of like trying to heal myself with the RNA. It's like all of a sudden one day, there it is. It's like now that she's talking about, if we're wanting something so bad, it seems like, no, we're not getting it. But if we relax and allow into it, yeah, it's like the next thing you know, oh, I had that. I didn't even think about it, and that's no longer. Right. So I wanted to share that because I thought that was interesting when she was talking about that.
Yes, and it is difficult because if you can't walk, if your hand isn't working, that's obvious to you every minute of your day. It's hard to, avoid looking at your hand or looking at your feet. So it's a hard one, but that's where I said start listening to the archives and Payday archives on Achieve Radio and kind of distract yourself from your body. Go more into the non-physical, listening to the programs and get. What did I tell? Take a vacation from your mind is what I told one person.
Yeah, I still agree with that. That's what I guess that's what I was getting at too, is because when I couldn't take a deep breath at certain times, I was living with that. That was on my mind constantly because if you can't take a deep breath and talk to somebody, you're trying to grasp for breath, right? But what I was getting at, even when I took the RNA, I wasn't even thinking about healing myself with the RNA. It's just all of a sudden, it's like one day it's okay. So I kind of feel what she was going through, and so maybe that may happen to her like it did to me. Right. No lines on it.
Yeah, and anyway, Bob and his elbow. Yeah, it's all very possible. So good. Anything else, Roseanne?
No, that's it. I just want to say thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to my order.
Okay, very good. As Jenny would say, very good.
Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it.
Yes, I get in trouble for saying very good, but I don't know where that came from, but it doesn't matter. Very good. Very good, Roseanne. Thank you so much.
Because it's so very good. I mean, everything is just so beautifully very good. And my Magnesium Miracle book is at the Amazon bestseller rank 1,217. And that's 1,217 out of 500,000 books that are on Amazon. Can you believe it, Jenny?
Oh, my God. That's very awesome.
Most of the time it's number one in books under vitamins and supplements, and it's usually in the top 10 under healing, books under health and alternative medicine healing. So it's that book is awesome, and it's doing so well. I'm very happy with it. And actually, there's...
Hey, Carolyn?
Yes?
They're playing your People's Pharmacy interview across the country, so it's gone again.
Right. It's kind of fun watching it. And the latest review is from someone named Todd, and he says, this book is amazing. This book saved my life when doctors couldn't find out what...
Don't have one to give to the person that you are very close to. I mean, you should, well, anybody in my house doesn't have any, we're already in, but it's definitely a great Christmas book. So
Hey, Jenny?
Yeah, Bob?
It should be a mandatory prom present from parents to kids graduating from junior high.
There you go. Very good. Well, about it, they get fired up about the way they feel. Same thing with the RNA drops and all the complement formulas. And even a person like Melody, who is, and the RNA drops do renew the mind, and that level of optimism to continue to hang in there, stick with it, that is an effect of the drops. So just stick in there with that. You'll be doing very well in no time at all. But yes, I think the Magnesium Miracle will make it like the little baby Jesus under the tree.
Yeah, 2 points. What Todd said, There must be 100 reviews on Amazon or anywhere else in Carolyn's life that says that. This book saved my life. Doctors didn't know, screw all. And then I read this book. That's the most common review.
Yeah, well, there's 278 reviews now, and there are a couple people who are quackbusters who just try to give me a 1-star to bring it down, but I've got 222 5 stars.
Yeah.
So there.
The people know. So the other point, Carolyn.
Every person that you tell, Carolyn, that the Toronto people or the Canada people took away her medical license for talking about sugar in the body in the mid-90s or whatever it is, they just cluck and laugh. They just say, well, that makes perfect sense. I mean, it's not, it's just so funny.
20 years ago, they took her license away. And I defy any of them to come in today and report in some form that they're still alive. I say that not one of them is alive today who took her license away.
Yeah, they're probably not. Yeah.
Yep. And another point is I once asked Ion, or Ion said, one of the basic effects, the most basic effect of the drops, and maybe the other things, is if you say you don't notice anything, well, Ion says, yes, but you're starting to notice your body, and you're noticing that nothing's happening. You never noticed your body before. Now you're noticing your body, and that's the first step. You get that, Judy?
I think that's an excellent point. No, Bob, because I noticed that was my experience, and I think that's a very good point. And having appreciation for the parts of your body that do work well is another.
You never noticed anything. This kind of knowledge was the furthest from your experience, right? Before you met us.
Before I met Carolyn, I don't know about you, Bob, but before I met Carolyn, yes, that's right.
Yeah, you had no awareness of your body. You did not notice anything. You were too busy trying to save the world, right? You did not notice your body.
I was hyper disconnected, Bob. That's right.
Yeah,
I was busy trying to save the world that didn't need to be saved. That's exactly true.
It wasn't broken. You thought you heard a story that was broken, and it wasn't broken.
That's right. Yes,
just
I read the story
magnesium deficient.
That it was broken in the BIBLE.
Yep.
Oh, my Lord. Okay, that's for another show. Back to Carolyn's show. Brian in Boston, Carolyn, who's all giddy this evening with joy, apparently, wants to share another little thing here. He says, I squeeze half of organic lemon in with my Remag, Relight, and salt. It makes a great drink to drink all day. I drink 3 liters of water a day. Let's rock this drink.
Yes, that's very good. Brian, you're awesome. That's fabulous. Yes, reminding us
right.
of the lemon. Very good. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Brian. All right. And Debbie in Idaho, would you have someone with chronic canker sore swish Remag around in their mouth while they have the sore? And take Remag on a regular basis, too. I tried looking it up in the archives and did not see any it addressed yet.
Yeah, the mouth sores, well, it's gonna hurt a bit if you're swishing Remag or the RNA drops. Some people will say with mouth sores the RNA drops help, but they do have a bit of a sharp, acidic pH to them. What heals mouth sores is a good vitamin C complex, like the Grown by Nature vitamin C complex. It's the bioflavonoids in C complex that heal small capillaries and mucous membranes.
Excellent. Very good. Live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on Achieve Radio and streaming live through YouTube on Achieve TV. We've got it all covered here, all the bodies. We're in the chip body, we're in the TV body, we're on the radio. Bob, we're knocking it out of the park tonight. So let's go back to our phones. We'll go to area code 661. 661, you're on the line with Dr. Carolyn Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
This is Kate.
Who
Hi,
are we talking to? Hi, Kate.
This is Kate. I just have a question about the Renew. I know it's a lot stronger than the RNA drops, and you mentioned to just put it on certain spots on the skin that need, some rejuvenation. But and if you were to use it as a facial moisturizer, daily is probably too much, correct?
Well, I certainly use it daily. I want as much on my face as possible.
Okay.
I think in the beginning, some people who use it that way just have to start slow so it doesn't detox. But yeah, I slather it on pretty liberally myself.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is this Kate the Great?
It is. Hi.
See, you didn't give me your signature laugh soon enough, but I still knew.
You knew. I love it.
I did.
Wonderful. Yes, love the Renew. Wow. So if I was to use the Renew right before bed, will it keep me up because it works just like the RNA drops and gives me the energy?
No, I've never had that happen. I wouldn't think it would do that. And
okay.
Even so, I don't know. I take my RNA drops before bedtime, and I don't notice that it keeps me up. Everybody's different, and maybe it's a story we tell ourselves. But so, don't tell yourself that story. Okay.
Okay, and is the Renew too strong to use on kids?
Well, it depends on what you're going to use it on. We've had parents using it on anything from Down syndrome to paralysis to acne. So I don't know that. There's no, I don't think there's any barrier to using it transdermally. I think the body sort of, I think the body will kind of distribute it where it's needed when it's used transdermally. But I don't know. I mean, you just use your best judgment, that's all.
Okay, and I just wanted to say one thing about the Renew. You know those head massagers with the little wires that poke out?
Yeah, right.
Put on your Renew on each one of those little balls, and I massage my hair with it. My hair looks wonderful.
Oh, funny.
Great. So probably seeps into my brain too.
Oh, that's funny. Well, about the hair and all the rest of it, I had some emails this week about putting it in their cat's food. No, this was Remag and the cat's food, and their coat, their fur coat went all glossy. And a guy who's using it for his thinning hair says that the Remag rubbed into his scalp. It really helps the glossy shininess of his hair. And people are using it as a deodorant. They're spraying Remag into their armpits as a deodorant.
Yes,
and
awesome.
there was one more thing. Yeah, putting it on your toothbrush. We do that. We put a spray or two of Remag on the toothbrush along with a toothpaste. So there.
Yay. Thank you.
Hey, Kate, and GREAT stands for G-R-A-T-E, not G-R-E-A-T. She's too young to be a megalomaniac yet. But I'm just looking up the lyrics of All Along the Watchtower, and this point, you should look at the lyrics of the song All Along the Watchtower, which was written by Bob Dylan. And it goes something like, no reason to get excited, the thief he kindly spoke. There are many here among us who feel that life is but a joke, but you and I have been through that, and this is not our fate. So let us not talk falsely now. The hour is getting late. You should note that paragraph.
And how does GREAT get into that? I thought you were working up to a great poem.
No. There are many here among us who feel that life is but a joke, but you and I have been through that. I think that Kate has to dim down her laughing response.
Are you kidding?
Okay. I'm giving a comment on her self-consciousness.
Mr. Laughter himself.
No one else would tell.
Oh, yeah. Bob just doesn't want anyone to take over his laugh quotient. That's all.
Okay.
That's right. But just note that. You have to look through everything. So, yes, life may be fun to laugh along with, But life is not a joke, as many people here find out on Dr. Dean's show Monday.
And now you got me laughing.
Businessmen, they dig my wine. Plowmen dig my
Bob,
earth.
okay,
No one will level on the
yourself,
line.
Bob.
Nobody knows what
Mute
it is worth.
yourself, Bob.
There must be some kind of way out of here, said the Joker to the thief.
Bob.
Oh, boy.
Say goodbye to Bob, Kate.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye, Bob.
Bye.
Bye,
I'll try not to
Kate.
laugh
Thanks
so
a lot.
much. Bye.
Thanks for calling in, hon. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Very good. Okay, live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on Achieve Radio, about 10 minutes to the top of the hour. Nancy in Portland says, Carolyn, hi. Where do changes in food choices fit into all of this? Sugar, grain, fruit, dairy can be or are in the inflammatory category, and bodies will get better faster when those foods are removed from many people and curtailed by others. Less physical agitation happening also helps the brain too. Then the complement formulas can work even better, I would think. Responses?
Yes, of course. Some people have gone through the ion notion that you can just take the RNA drops and drink whatever you want. And some people, quote unquote, get away with it. The others of us do not. And I think the way Ion laid it out is, eat your 10 Snicker bars and see how you feel. And if you want to feel the way the Snicker bars make you feel, then keep doing it. If you don't, then don't do it. You just go by the contrast that your experience gives you. I did the Complement Now to your online wellness program to guide people in how to make choices, good health choices, because we don't have a clue. We don't learn it anywhere else. And it does include things like avoiding sugar, gluten, and dairy, because so many of us have yeast overgrowth. So, yes, you can really enhance your experience just by drinking sea salt water, by avoiding gluten, and do the experiment to see if you feel better, and then make your own decision about how you want to, where you want to be with that. I love my coconut oil and a bit of just like sugar sweetener and the cacao powder, and I slip a little piece of frozen banana in there, and I just love that stuff. So I'm going to keep eating it. And what I've learned is if I eat a lot of it, it keeps me up at night. The caffeine, I guess, in the chocolate, or, I'll get the laxative effect from so much chocolate. So you learn how much you can ingest to keep that joy feeling and not feel yucky because you've overdone it. Balance, balance, balance.
Very good, very good. All right. The doctor has spoken. Live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on
Hey, Ginny.
Radio. Yes?
Try the word excellent. Instead of saying very good, go excellent.
No, I like very good. And, I had somebody, bless their heart, send me a sound clip the other day suggesting that I want to change my yay sound. I like how I sound. They don't want to change any words. I'm happy.
Yeah.
It's not all about you, Ginny. There are people who have to listen to you, and it's water torture.
It is. No, Bob, it is not. It's fine. It's like our Dave Neufeld intro piece, becomes part of who we are. The yay is part of who you are.
Oh, I have no problem with the yay.
Remember last year? He hated yay.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to be I'm trying to be balanced here. I'm not going to make two issues. I'm just trying to focus on one issue. They're very good. We'll get to the yay later, but the diplomatic response is
we have,
excellent.
10 minutes left, less than 10 minutes. So do we have more phone calls, or will I go to the mailbag?
Let's go to the mailbag. Here we go. Yeah, mailbag.
Okay.
Good.
Everybody mute. Okay. A gentleman wrote in, my wife has been suffering from post-herpetic neuralgia. That's from the chickenpox, shingles, as a result of contracting shingles for over 4 years ago. We've tried everything. And what do I advise? Well, that's where you're going to spray Remag on the area in layers. And I probably told them to take all the complement formulas to rebuild cells, the realign to detoxify, but I really think the Remag is going to help. And the Relight, the sea salt to help support what is obviously going to be a very stressed out adrenal system as well. It all goes hand in hand. Now, what one young man said to me, this is a gentleman who took, I think, a teaspoon of Remag and Relight right off the bat. And he said he had a very powerful and convincing set of symptoms that happened to him that made him know that these were powerful minerals. He had tons of energy, but also he was irritable in the midst of it. And I told him about when magnesium makes me worse, and he understood that. He got it. And he's the one that said spraying magnesium on his hair made it shiny, and it took the gray away and made it have a better quality, and also helped his dandruff. Someone wrote in and said they did another magnesium RBC test, and I'm starting to get this more frequently now, where people say I took the test, and then they get disappointed because it only came up, 0.2 points. Someone said it came back at 5.4, up from 5.2, and they were discouraged that they didn't make progress. So then I write back and I say, well, how are you feeling? And the answer is, well, I feel fantastic. So you really can't just, put everything in the test. You can't make that the arbiter of how you feel about yourself, because if your symptoms are going, that's great, because the testing, some people will do the test and say, hey, I came back 6.2, should I stop magnesium? And my first question to them is, well, did you stop the magnesium before your test? You have to stop at least the night before and the morning of, and maybe even the day before. And he said, oh, no, I kept taking it all along. And I said, well, then you're going to have an inaccurate test. So the test has so many arbitrary factors to it. You have to put it in conjunction with your symptoms.
Hey, Carolyn, that's a case of the map is not the territory.
Yeah. Whatever you just said, Bob, right. Okay, someone...
I said the map is not the territory. The measurement is not the feeling.
Right. Okay, fine. Mute yourself. This next mailbag was about fluoride, and I said, yes, the fluoride can definitely affect the magnesium and many other things as well. And I think people who live in fluoridated water areas or getting fluoride they may not even know about, just taking extra magnesium is going to help you. Now I had a couple of really long cases, and maybe we'll save them for the next time, but a couple of my patients who went through their process with me, and I've written it down and got their permission to say it, but how are we doing? We've just got three minutes left. Do we have any in-quicks or phone calls we should take, Ginny?
Nope, we're good. We can keep pressing along, I believe. Yep.
Okay, someone with AFib, type 2 diabetes, taking everything. Now, one day she said she slipped on the Relight and put much more in than she should have, and she did say it did stir her up. I mean, and when that happens, people just know this stuff is powerful. Now, she gave me some information. She said drinking plain water is not equal to drinking herb teas, and she's probably right. Someone was saying with all the herb teas they drink, can they not drink so much water? I say drink your water and then fill in with a couple of herb teas. In regard to her AFib, she said she could still hear irregular heartbeats or pulse, but she says, when I forget to take when she forgets to take her blood pressure pill, she can go for 8 hours without feeling the irregularity. And it used to be 2 to 3 hours. So she's getting to the point where on the amount of Remag she's taking right now, she does not need her blood pressure medication. And what will happen is when she's able to wean off her blood pressure medication, it will be draining less magnesium, and then she'll really be able to get rid of her heart palpitations. This is a problem with people who are on medications, is figuring out when to get off of it. She's wondering about her calcium intake. I said the food list for calcium foods is in the Relight book and aim for 700 milligrams. And we'll just end there because I know we're coming up to our final. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Ginny, and thank you, Bob.
Thank you, everybody.
Very, very good. Excellent. Amazing. Awesome. Wonderful.
Thank you, Ginny.
Carolyn Dean. Yes, and thank you, Carolyn, Vermont. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, Linda, and thanks, Bill, for everything. Good night, everybody. Be sure to tune in next week.
Good night.